Hello folks, Midwest F-150 here. The date is September 11th, 2025, and it's been about 4 months since I provided you guys an update on my Road to 500,000 Miles series. Now, I'm in front of my 2021 F-150 3.5 liter EcoBoost, and at the core of my channel, the goal is to get this thing to last as long as possible. Now, I have a few things working against me, including planned obsolescence. It's this notion that vehicles are built to break down after a certain period of time. I believe that my best chances at making the vehicle last as long as possible is by adopting an aggressive and disciplined maintenance plan. In this video, I'll show you guys all the different things I'm doing. If you have any ideas on what I can do differently, throw it in the comments. I'm hoping to have a discussion around this and learn from you guys on how I can attack car maintenance. All right, with that, let's get into it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flash the spreadsheet on the screen here. For those who just wanna see what it looks like, go ahead and pause the screen and take a look at everything. But for those who wanna stick around, first thing on the list is the transmission fluid. No change from the previous update. We're still using the AMSOIL ULV fluid, and the reason why I'm using this is because of its ability to operate at a broader range of temperatures. I think one of the things when it comes to moving parts is heat management, and I think AMSOIL ULV is my best bet in getting my transmission to last as long as possible. That's not to say that that's the only thing I'm doing in terms of like taking care of my transmission. One of the things that I'm doing is once I start up the vehicle, I would drive gently, avoiding accelerating it too much until the transmission fluid has fully warmed up. Now, the plan is to do it every 40,000 miles, pairing it up with a Premium Guard transmission filter. I'm really excited to use this, especially going into the winter when it gets like really cold and fluidity significantly decreases. So I'm betting that this will help with that. Now, not the most exciting shot here, but from a fuel standpoint, I'm using exclusively top-tier gasoline, and luckily I live by a Costco where I can get the gas for cheap. In addition to using top-tier gasoline, I've been using the Chevron Techron, which I really like. It significantly reduced fuel dilution in my oil sample the last time I did it. Here's the rear differential in my F-150. I'm planning to do 60,000 mile change intervals on the fluid. That's the same for the transfer case and the front differential. And for the fluid, I'm sticking to AMSOIL for the same reasons I did for the transmission. It operates at a broader range of temperatures, so the combination of running what I consider a short interval of 60,000 miles and using a product that offers longer protection, I think will help protect these components. All right, motor oil. Everyone's favorite car maintenance topic. For my oil change, I'm using the MicroGuard Select Extended Life, the MSL 57502. And of all the filters I've opened up, this seems to be the best constructed filter that I was able to find. These are rated for about 10,000 miles, but my oil change interval is going to be 4,000 miles. Now, in my last update, I shared that I was doing 2,500 mile oil change intervals, but because of a recent used oil analysis, I've learned that I'm able to get away with as much as 5,000 mile oil change intervals. We're going to continue using the Valvoline Restore and Protect, which is an incredible oil. I first used this product in my brother's 2011 Nissan Sentra to solve a timing chain issue. As I started using that, I started tracking how well it's cleaning the dipstick, and if it's able to do that, then I think it'll do a great job of making my engine last as long as possible. All right, now to the filters. So both my engine air filter and my cabin air filter, I'm changing every 6,000 miles. On the engine air filter piece, I'm using a paper-based filter from Premium Guard. And the reason for that is number one, it's a fraction of the price. And number two, its quality roughly matches the OEM. And then on a cabin air filter standpoint, I really like the Pureful cabin air filter from Premium Guard. One of the things that we get, at least in recent years, is we get wildfires. And with that, there's a lot of smoke in the air. This is the only filter that I have found that filters all that smokiness smell from getting inside your cabin. All right, folks, next thing on the list is the spark plugs. The plan is to do it every 40,000 miles, which is significantly earlier than what the owner's manual recommends. Based on my truck, it says around 60,000 miles, but I'm going with 40,000 miles. And that's because I've heard that the EcoBoost applications actually does a beating on these spark plugs. And so I'm sticking with OEM just because I know that some engines are very particular about the type of spark plug in it. And so I'm just going to stick with OEM and not mess with it. Thing on the list is antifreeze and coolant. I'm sticking with the OEM Motorcraft just because I couldn't find anything in the aftermarket that beats what this offers. And so I'm doing every 2 years to prevent any buildup of sediment, dirt, and debris in the cooling system. As you probably picked up by now, I'm all about controlling heat. This vehicle being a turbocharged application, it's going to run hot. My thought is that if I can keep the fluid to metal contact as clean as possible by changing out every 2 years, I can get the engine and the turbos to last as long as possible. And I'm able to adopt an aggressive interval on this thanks to this Maddox cooling system test and refill kit that I got from Harbor Freight. So essentially all I gotta do is open up the drain on the radiator, get all the fluid out, close it, and then put this vacuum pump on the overflow reservoir to pull out all of the air. And then with all the air pulled out, you have a vacuum, right? You take the hose on the kit and then put it inside your brand new bottle of antifreeze and coolant, and the vacuum of the engine will pull in the fluid and fill in as much of the air pockets as possible. Next thing on the list is brake fluid. So I'm using this AMSOIL 100% synthetic .3 and 4 in my F-150. The reason why I use this is because it's relatively inexpensive and it operates a higher boiling point than most fluids out there. And the reason why I'm doing it every year is because I live in Minnesota where we get crazy humidity, we get cold, we get hot temps, and over time that degrades the brake fluid. To me, it's a small price to pay in order to keep that system clean. And I'm able to do it at home thanks to my brother who purchased this Holt Industries brake bleeder pump from Harbor Freight. For brakes and rotors, I'm planning to stick with OEM just because I haven't been able to find a good reason on switching away from that. What I'll do is change it out as needed. I don't know exactly how long these things last, but the last time I checked, there's still a lot of meat left on both the rotor and the pads. And then jumping over to the struts and shocks, I'm planning to stick with OEM and switching out as needed. I will say I'm starting to fall in love a little bit with the Bilstein. If you have experience using those shocks, let me know in the comments what it's like. How does it differ from the OEM struts and shocks? All right, next thing on the list is rust protection. As you can see here in the video, I do have a combination of surface shield and fluid film sprayed on the frame. I've been researching this for the last couple of months, and what I started doing is using a product called Salt Shift. It's essentially like a water spray nozzle that you can put and mount on your frame rail in order for it to spray inside the frame rail and flush out whatever's in there. I did that for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and I followed up with surface shield and fluid film spray inside the frame rail. Now I'm able to do that with this spray can that I got from Amazon, and on the tip of the spray nozzle it sprays in 360 degrees, getting all of the metal surfaces within the frame rail. Next thing on the list is heating and AC treatment. Now this is a new concept to me and one that I came across because my sister's 2019 Audi actually started smelling really bad. Cool It by LubeGuard is a product that you use to spray inside the evaporator drain, and it'll foam up inside the AC and heating system, breaking down any dirt, debris, and bacteria and mold. And so my truck doesn't smell as bad as the Audi, but it does have like this stinky sock smell when I turn on the AC. So I started using it by spraying it inside the evaporator drain, and I gotta say, it significantly freshened things up. It also cleans up some of the passages, which I think is a good maintenance item because I've read online that some F-150 owners have experienced flooding within their carpeting. And the reason why that is because that evaporator drain clogs up and that water has nowhere to go but inside your vehicle. And so it's preventative maintenance and it smells good. All right, the last update on my spreadsheet is the auto start stop feature. Now, in my last update, I shared that every time I get in my vehicle, I deactivate that function. Unfortunately, when things are on my mind or my mind is drifting elsewhere, I forget to turn it off. There's this product called Auto Stop Eliminator that I recently installed inside the truck. It's essentially a plug and play, and it'll save your settings from the last time you cycled the engine. So every time I start up the engine now, I don't have to worry about turning it off. All right, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Ultimately, my plan is an iterative one, so if there's anything at all that I shared in this video today that you would do different, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. On this channel, I'm on a mission to reach 500,000 miles on my 2021 F-150. Along the way, you can expect regular updates, in-depth product reviews, live streams, and more. Subscribe now to stay up to date and be part of the journey.